Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have in our top right corner, as the blue Protoss player, hailing all the way from Denmark, it is MaxPax's. And in the bottom left as our red Zerg player, playing for Team XCOM AGO, is the Polish Zerg player, Elazer. Map is Glittering Ashes, as we see MaxPax's opening up with a Nexus before the first gateway, going into the double gateway cybernetics core as a follow-up. Is a build order that has not been very popular, but has been coming back a little bit in recent times. I want to say after the latest patch. Protoss players feeling like they need to switch it up a bit more and kind of exploring these different strategies, not just sticking to the double Stargate Void Ray. MaxPax's, of course, a long-time double Stargate Void Ray enjoyer, now forced to explore all these other strats and see and figure out if he can get similar results with those types of play. First two links make their way into the main and the natural. Will get split up and we'll see how Elazer ends up controlling those. Good control so far out of the Polish Zerg. We'll end up losing one link for free against a 4 probes around, and the second link will also go down against the Adept. But this does win a little bit of time here for the Polish Zerg player. Single Adept will make his way across the map to go for a scout. We have a Stalker and a Sentry as a follow-up. And 2 more gateways. Okay, now I'm kind of interested. These gateways went down at a timing at which a single chrono boost on the cyber core might still be possible. Often just if you want your first warp in of the gateways to be timed up with warp gate finishing, you need to build them at 56 out of 100 seconds on your warp gate research, and we saw both of these gateways go down at 46 out of 100. So indeed we do see that chrono boost cutting 10 seconds in research time, making the 46 technically a 56. Some high level maths here, but yeah, it's going to be a 4 gate, and as the follow-up is a Twilight Council, this could be Blink, could be Glaives as well. It will depend a little bit on what we will see here as our first warp in. If we're going to see a lot of Stalkers being warped in immediately, this could just be going into a straight-up Stalker attack. But as it seems to be Adepts for now, I think we'll get a Glaive follow-up, perhaps later on still going into that Blink and Blink Stalkers. But Glaive as a starting point seems like a very fair and reasonable decision here out of the Danish Protoss player. Getting a battery as well here over at the third base. Elazer is actually producing a fair amount of links here. Wants to deal some damage. That's not going to be possible. There's simply too many Adepts out right now. Elazer is getting that Roach Warren as well. Decent count of queens. 8 queens already. That's not a decent count, that's an insane count of queens. Some of these links are going to fall against the Adepts. Elazer wants to keep these alive and kind of use them as a run-by, as a mechanism to keep these Adepts at home. 7 Roaches are on the way. These are produced very early because there is no resonating Glaives yet right now. So Roaches aren't completely necessary. Often you want to delay these Roaches for as long as possible. Now, of course, Elazer is not aware of that. So Elazer's like, wait a second, I see you have like 10 Adepts. Glaives can finish any second. What do I need to do here? And his answer was 7 Roaches. Well, the Roaches will be in time. We still have this Ling run by on the other side of the map. Will not be capable of doing anything whatsoever. Bar maybe picking off a probe here and there. A couple of these Adepts are going to shade in. We see decent target fire here. First 2 drones are going to get taken out. But these Adepts will just get the... Yeah, it's actually just 2 drones. It's not that great of a trade here for MaxPax's. Elazer decides to go across the map here in a bit of a brain fart, I want to say. He knew that these Glaive Adepts were still here, or these Adepts were still here. He wasn't aware they had Glaive quite yet. Now he will figure that out. He's going to lose a couple of workers as a result. Sloppy play there, allowing MaxPax's just to walk in, shade out as he walks in. This is going to get MaxPax's a decent amount of kills. I'm guessing 15, 16 kills here as these Adepts do want to get out. 17? No. 16 kills. Quick transfuse there on the drone. Didn't actually matter because the final shot was not fired, but still a cool move there out of Elazer. And we indeed see the follow-up here. Oh my god, it's a Dark Shrine. I had not quite expected that. Double double DTs being sent out across the map. Let's take a look at the first person view here out of Elazer. See when he will exactly figure it out that there's going to be DTs. There's only a single spore so far. Overseer spots the DT immediately. And as a result, we see some morphing Overseers. 7 Ravagers also being morphed. This I do not quite understand, but... yeah, I do not understand that. The Ravagers, that's a big investment of resources right there. Elazer also floating a lot of money, despite having 10 larvae available right now. Is going to end up losing a couple of workers. It's a fairly confusing response here with the Ravagers, I have to admit. 6 workers are going to fall. Overseer will move into position and will take everything out. Okay, we're going back into droning right now. I think that is the correct call. Want to be going up to a higher drone count, a higher gas count most likely as well. Elazer at 137 supply, it's still a fair amount of money in the bank. No Spire is about to finish, although the resource count did make it look like that for a little bit. 5 more roaches also being constructed, plus 1 melee. Another DT is going to move in towards the natural. We'll get 2-3 workers before Elazer gets to respond. 4 workers go down, but of course that's not necessarily a brilliant trade for a DT. Drones get built practically instantly as long as there's larvae available and Elazer has good enough injects. Still floating a decent amount of money. I guess he wants to morph a couple of Banes at some point. That should definitely help. I mean, Banes and Ravagers are of course a very nice way of spending money. So it does not require larvae, they can be built basically at an instant. 4 more Overlords on the way here. We have plus 1 melee, we have plus 1 range as well. It seems like we're kind of moving into a pretty solid mid game here for Elazer. Probably wants to be getting that hive as well. Considered throwing down. Oh my god, he didn't even have a Baneling nest yet. That is somewhat surprising for me. I do like to see that go down right now. So you have 2 more hatcheries on the way. Of course, a nice way to spend money, but also to continue getting these extra bases and these extra gases. 3 hatcheries going down at the same time. So a triple expand here out of Elazer, while MaxPax's just now getting his 4th base up and running, will kind of result in a bit of an economic imbalance. You already see some major advantage here, almost 700-800 minerals a minute advantage for Elazer. Gas count is kind of similar, we're only on 7 gas. I wouldn't mind if an 8 gas gets thrown down at some point, but I guess at this point Elazer has so much money that he doesn't really need to consider that. Plus 2 is being researched, centrifugal hooks as well. It feels like Elazer with that late Baneling nest doesn't have much of a chance at moving across the map, but perhaps that also isn't his plan really. Perhaps what he wants to be doing is just sit back and wait for MaxPax's to attack into him, and well, if that was his plan, he's going to be lucky, because MaxPax's right now moving across the map with 4 Colossi. First 2 Vipers are on the way immediately as a response. 44 Banelings get morphed. A couple of those Banelings, well, a decent chunk of those Banelings are being morphed in rather aggressive positions as well. MaxPax's is going to find one of these little Baneling nests, one of these little Baneling morphing locations. But the second one will remain unspotted. There's no vision whatsoever here on the bottom side of the map from MaxPax's, and that's actually kind of going to suck. More DTs moving in towards the main base. A couple extra drones are going to fall. Elazer so far, pretty much without a response, is going to end up losing 6, 7, 8 workers. Does not pull the drones away. Does he not see it? He must be seeing it. I think an Overseer is moving there. 11 workers. 12 workers to a single DT. He does rebuild those workers immediately, but of course that's not super ideal. MaxPax's spots this Baneling run by. We'll start moving into position ASAP, as these Banelings are going to get caught, and that's an expensive loss once again for Elazer if he ends up losing all of these Banelings. Big blink forward, but the Banelings will be able to get out. At least the majority of them will be able to get out. Do you have any more DTs moving across the map right now? Let's take a quick look at this first person here out of MaxPax's. Does not quite have charge yet on these Zealots. Is getting Storm as well and is currently maxed out. Blink Stalkers being used to deny any potential run-bys, and then the main army to deal with everything else. MaxPax's, where's your Stormers? Well, Storm not quite done yet, so it is going to be difficult. Stalkers get caught out of position as well. 5th base gets taken out, and at the same time a lot of the workers here at the third base. Might go down now. It's only going to be 5. Couple of Colossi getting pulled in. Templar getting killed as well here. 2 Templar do end up morphing into an Archon. Before they go down, Biles connect with this Protoss army. And MaxPax's in a little bit of trouble after a very poor trade right here. Resource-wise, perhaps not even that bad, but it's always going to be the case with Banelings. But because Zerg always has that eco lead, as a Protoss you need fights that are +2, +3k every single time in the resources lost. That was not the case here. I mean, Banelings are extremely expensive. A very kind of supply-efficient unit, but cost-inefficient unit. And Elazer here is looking to just kind of break MaxPax's eventually by continuously throwing Banelings at his opponent. See these 2 Vipers once again with energy. We have another Baneling run by, this time with +2. That means that all of these workers might just be getting one-shot. There's still no 5th base being rebuilt here either. And I honestly believe that MaxPax's in a little bit of trouble right now. He is maxed out, but his army composition is utter garbage. Does not have a lot of storms available. More Banelings are going to start running in. As Elazer rallies these 18 Banelings straight into another mineral line. And they will, well, not quite be capable of taking out the base, but a couple of probes will die. Battery is going to get taken out as well. And the Banelings continue rolling in towards this 4th base. 5th base finally is being rebuilt, but yeah, I'm afraid here for MaxPax's. I really am afraid here for MaxPax's. Another big Baneling run by coming out of Elazer though. Realizing there's no wall here whatsoever, saying, hey, if you're not going to wall, then I'm just going to keep rolling in these Banelings. I mean, I have plenty of money. I'm continuing to expand. Probably should really take some extra gases at some point. To increase his current gas count as well. These Banelings are going to get caught by these Zealots, or perhaps these Zealots are going to get caught by the Banelings, but at the same time we have another 5th base denial. Vipers are still alive. Elazer does need to be a little bit careful here, as there are storms available right now. This is a fight completely off creep. And oh, MaxPax's just kind of uncharacteristically moving through a bunch of these Biles. It's going to get hit on the face, at least with this Colossi. Prism in the main base is going to deal a little bit of damage, or I guess this is the 3rd base. The creep spread is rather mediocre, and that's surprising because there hasn't been that much movement out of MaxPax's onto the creep, but Elazer focusing much more on run-bys rather than spreading creep. Of course, having to deal with a bunch of these DTs and Zealots being sent in as well is always going to cause a little bit of trouble. Now, this base, no real possibility for a warp in, not enough cannons and batteries either, and MaxPax's almost forced into an all-in here. There is no prism with this army right now. There's still a prism over here in the dead space. The 13 workers are going to fall. Zealot warp in will eventually clean this up. A couple of storms going to connect with these Banelings. Banelings will not quite get what they want, but MaxPax's also isn't quite getting what he wants, as he isn't even maxed out right now. 128 in army supply, a single storm still remaining, and what is this, 7 Archons? 7 Archons in this army. No abducts being cast right now. A couple of storms once again going down as MaxPax's continues kiting backwards. Bile hitting 4 Banelings there and actually dying. Elazer might be in a little bit of trouble. I did not quite expect this to be that poor of a fight. Elazer only on 68 workers, MaxPax's only on 48. Biles will connect with a lot of these Stalkers, and there's still an infinite amount of money for Elazer, but he just does not have the larva. He's not been injecting, and lost his bottom right side hatchery, lost this hatchery, so a lot of production is gone. Dying with 5k resources in the bank would be really painful here. On the other hand, as long as he stabilizes, he knows that eventually he can spend that money and he'll probably be fine. MaxPax's does not have the eco to kind of continue. This attack needs to recall these Zealots, by the way. This is absolutely vital. Is not going to recall them and we'll end up losing 9 Zealots. That is a lot of money if you don't have any income whatsoever, or hardly any income. Viper gets targeted down there. So we control out of Elazer as MaxPax's will continue kiting off creep. Perhaps can blink on top of these roaches right now to get a couple of free kills here. Elazer still floating 3.5k minerals. Does not have a pool, cannot create queens. Should probably just throw down 1 or 2 extra hatcheries. 1 hatchery does go down here. No hatchery in the main base yet. Double disruptors being constructed. 12 ravagers on the way. With the hive being done, I love the call for the disruptors here out of MaxPax's. That is a completely brilliant call here. Opponent is on a pure Roach Ravager army without Vipers, so there's no real natural counter to the Disruptor in this army. Banelings and Lynx, of course, are somewhat of a soft counter to Disruptors, but as there's currently, well, no pool, well, right now it just finished, I guess, but yeah, it feels like this might be very, very difficult for Elazer to engage if MaxPax manages to set up some type of push with 3 to 4 Disruptors here. I'd love for Elazer to split his army kind of in 2 parts and play it like a Terran. The moment you realize you're being attacked, you send in one part of the army as a counter-attack. Kind of as a way to stop any major push-out from happening, because these Disruptor pushes can be very gnarly to deal with if you don't have any hive units. And, well, right now, Elazer does not have any hive units. Or a lot of banelings. Like, if you have 40-50 banelings, often you're also fine, but no hive units, no banelings. Like, that's a recipe for disaster, more often than not. MaxPax is now getting to set up this push. There's 3 Disruptors in here. I have to wait and see if he's going to be able to get the connections, especially off creep, of course. There's some real viability, no control on these Ravagers there on the bottom side. Another big Disruptor. Oh my god, MaxPax is getting every single hit that he wants. Oh, accidentally fires one of the Disruptors as it's not quite with the army yet. Needs to blink forward with these Stalkers to defend the Disruptors, I think. No, Elazer's too afraid. Yeah, that was the move I was talking about. At the same time, oh my god. 12, 13 workers getting taken out, and Elazer, the only reason he's still in this game is because of his bank and nothing else whatsoever. The T's will start taking out this base as well. This Prism has been absolutely invaluable here for MaxPax. Good snipe on a Roach there as well. Elazer, despite his massive eco lead, his huge bank, is actually struggling. He actually is struggling a little bit. He's still up in supply. He is... Like, he's not in a bad spot. If I were to look at this game right now, I wouldn't say that Elazer is losing. But if you look at this game 2 minutes ago, and then you look at what happened from then till now, like, that has definitely been a bad trajectory that Elazer has been on. And if he continues on this path, he's not going to win. But if he can kind of snap out of it and start taking the engagements that he needs, if he starts taking, you know, if he starts getting the Vipers out, microing his Ravagers against the Disruptor shots, all of these things are going to be kind of vital in him winning this game. And Vipers, of course, going to contribute a lot to that as well. These triple Vipers are now out. Big blink forward here. Army supply for MaxPax only at 90 against 138. There's no Templar with this army whatsoever. And that means that these both these Banelings and these Vipers are going to be very, very useful. Single DT and a Prism. 91 workers have been killed so far by MaxPax. Let's not forget that they started with a 4-gate into Glaives, off of a Nexus first. And here we are, well, 14 minutes later, with a single DT and a Prism, taking out Queens. They're not really responding to this. This entire army is next to it. I guess he does not have an Overseer. This DT is going to continue its rampage. At the same time, a forward base gets taken out. 59 workers against 56. And this is the point where Elazer, he needs to actually start doing things. He cannot just rely anymore on staying alive and hoping that things will be alright. He sends in a run-by towards a base that is mined out already. Will get a Disruptor for his trouble. And continues expanding towards the far left side. MaxPax has... does have a 5th base and probably wants to take a 6th base at this point as well. Has a pretty decent defensive setup. Is on 7 Disruptors as well. And with only 3 Vipers. Well, you do get 2 pulls per Viper. But it's going to be difficult to pull in 7 Disruptors. I'd love for MaxPax to get 2 or 3 Templar here. That would be a huge deal. This is an insanely big Baneling run-by the way. This run-by needs to kill the base. If this run-by gets caught, I think Elazer will be in a world of trouble. Looks like this run-by might just be capable of surviving. A couple of Disruptor shots. One. No split on the Banelings whatsoever. Huge mistake there. A couple extra Ravagers also gonna get taken out. No Disruptors being used yet against this main army. MaxPax's completely caught out of position though. So although he does get a couple of big Disruptor hits so far, he still is in trouble, losing 40 workers. Viper still here. A couple of Abducts being used, but not really used to kill these Disruptors, just to pull them towards the army. And the Disruptors will stay alive. It's 88 army supply against 118. Maybe we still have one push left in us here, MaxPax's. Is it possible? Templar Archives is still alive, which means that this gas can be spent as well. These Disruptors in a little bit of trouble, as we see 3 Zealots being warped in. MaxPax's pulling the trigger right now, saying, hey, I need to go. I need to kill you in the next, well, basically 35 seconds. And MaxPax's right now kind of getting distracted following 4 or 5 Ravagers. Every second that Elazer wins right now is a brilliant second, because he's completely outmining his opponent, like tenfold at this point. He has good production. He has the correct tech. He gets to regain his energy on the Vipers, which is absolutely huge against Disruptors. There's really nothing here for MaxPax's that makes me believe in this game anymore. Yes, he still has a decently sized army, but 27 Banelings is just going to be a massive issue. Even without the Banelings, I think this would have been a massive issue. But with the Banelings on creep, this is going to be, well, close to impossible, I think. MaxPax's moving in position for this final attack. 25 Stalkers, 2 Archons, 8 Zealots, 2 Disruptors, 27 Banelings are going to come in with a flank. 1 Disruptor shot gets used, does not connect with anything. Second Disruptor connects with 10, 12 Banelings, but I do not believe it is going to be good enough. Resources lost show that Elazer has been training pretty well for the massive amounts of Banelings that he has lost this game. 156 Banelings have gone down. Blinding Clouds gets utilized as well. 34 supply against 174, and MaxPax's is extremely dead right now. We'll need to tap out. GG gets called as Elazer wins this game here on Glittering Ashes. Fantastic little game. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I hope to see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye bye.